Josh Giddey has been a player that's made news for off-the-court reasons off the court that should get him not only off the OKC Thunder, but also out of the NBA. But strictly on the court, there are a lot of reasons the OKC Thunder should move on from him, because simply put, he's not a good NBA player. His playstyle isn't effective, and given the situation, he's able to play basketball, and there's no excuse for him to play this poorly. And in this video, I want to talk about just how bad he's been. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about this guy. Through 25 games, Josh Giddey is averaging 11.8 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, and 4.4 assists per game on 43, 31.3, 80.6 splits, and a 48.4 true shooting percentage. And to take it a step further, the advanced numbers are awful as well. Among the 10 players on OKC who have played at least 200 minutes this season, he ranks last in offensive win shares at minus 0.6. The only one in the top 10 on that team whose offensive win shares are in the negatives. He ranks last overall in win shares at 0.4. He ranks second to last in offensive box score plus minus at negative 1.2. He ranks last in defensive box score plus minus at negative 0.3. He ranks last in overall box score plus minus at negative 1.5. And on top of that, he ranks last in value over replacement player at 0.1. When you combine that with the fact that he ranks second on the team in usage rate at 24.5, combined with the fact that OKC is really good despite a high usage player being a negative, it really just shows he's a detriment to the team. I know box score plus minus and win shares aren't perfect measures, but when you play as much as he has and the advanced numbers also a negative impact, then that player has a negative impact on the game. And the reason he's a negative in all of these advanced numbers does line up with what you see on tape, because objectively speaking, he's one of the worst scorers in the NBA with his usage and volume. He's in the 9th percentile in rim efficiency, 3rd percentile in true shooting percentage, 6th percentile in effective field goal percentage, 41st percentile in 3-point volume, and 18th percentile in 3-point efficiency. On top of that, according to Clean the Glass, he shoots 32 for 93 on shots between 4 feet and just within 14 feet, and he's only taken 9 shots between 14 feet and just within the 3-point line. He's not an effective scorer on any of the levels of the court. As a finisher, he's been awful. He's not a good athlete for the NBA level. He lacks speed, he lacks burst and quickness, he lacks vertical explosiveness, he lacks strength. His touch around the basket has been really bad on tape. He doesn't draw fouls, and he's even missing easy layups. Layups you expect a starter on a good team like OKC has been to hit like it's routine, he's missing them. And as a shooter, he's not good either. His form isn't good, he's hesitant to shoot even though he's being left open. This has led to opposing teams treating possessions like 4v5s. They leave him open, they put bigs on him so they can roam and leave him on an island. They use Giddey as a way to apply more help defense on a player like SGA. I've never seen a player where teams just don't care if he even touches the basketball. And Giddey hasn't done anything to prove they should care if he has the basketball in his hands, because he's been that awful of a scorer. It's also limited him in the one thing he's good at, which is his passing, where he hasn't been nearly as effective as you would hope, to say the least. Really, it's just very easy to see when you look at the numbers and combine it with what you're watching on tape. He's not somebody that's helping this offense. In fact, he's actually hurting the offense. And he's not good defensively either. He's not a good enough athlete on the ball. More athletic and stronger players have a significant advantage. His feel off the ball is really bad. Outside of rebounding, he's a negative on defense, and this wouldn't be as much of a problem if he was a positive offensive player, but he's not a positive offensive player. And when you combine how much of a negative he is on offense with how much of a negative he is on defense, you get a player who's useless on an NBA court. Simply put, the OKC Thunder are a better team when Josh Giddey is off the court. In 641 minutes when he's on the court, the Thunder have a 115.9 offensive rating, which would rank 18th in the NBA, and a 113.4 defensive rating, which would rank 10th in the NBA. In the 570 minutes when he's off the court, the Thunder have a 121.8 offensive rating, which would rank 4th in the NBA, and a 108.3 defensive rating, which would rank 2nd in the NBA. And he's played too many minutes for these on-off numbers to really be taken out of context. And there's no excuse for Giddey to be this bad. He's playing in a lineup with a historically efficient 30-point per game superstar in gilgeous-alexander, an efficient 17-4-4 guy in J-Dub, and an efficient versatile 17-8-2 big in Chet Holmgren. When it comes to Chet in particular, he's not a player that's hard to adjust to playing alongside, which is an excuse I saw on Twitter one day. If anything, having Chet there should make it easier, because Chet is not somebody you have to adjust to playing around. He's a very seamless fit because of his skill set. It's very simple when it comes to Josh Giddey. He's not good on either end of the court. He's holding back this OKC team, an OKC team that's been pretty good this season despite him holding them back. OKC needs to be starting Cason Wallace, because Wallace is, simply put, a significantly better defensive player, a more competent and reliable offensive player, and a better fit. I don't really understand why OKC is still trying to prioritize Josh Giddey, because I guarantee if OKC reaches the heights I think they can, it will be because they get him off the roster. He doesn't have a skill that truly impacts winning basketball. His one positive on-court skill is nullified by his flaws to the point it's easily replaceable. And you could point to quote-unquote promise in prior seasons, and I have done that in videos in the past. But the thing is, those were still flaws in those prior seasons, and they have gotten actively worse despite OKC getting better as a team, and the situation, in theory, leading to improvements for a young player. But it hasn't for Josh Giddey. There are too many negatives on the court alone, and given the off-court situation, he shouldn't even be on an NBA roster, and that's something that isn't arguable. The laundry list of reasons he's a negative speaks for itself, and if OKC wants to capitalize on the peak of one of the best guards of the last 10 to 15 years and their rising young star big, they need to get rid of Josh Giddey one way or another. To quote Draymond Green, the dynasty starts after you, not with you, because that's where I'm at with Josh Giddey right now. If this OKC team is as good as they are with him on the roster, they're going to be an even bigger problem for the rest of the NBA once they finally get rid of him. I don't know how that's going to happen, but again, one way or another, it has to happen if they really want to contend. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notify whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways to help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. And I know this is a really negative video, and I know at the end of my last Josh Giddey video, I was pretty optimistic about him turning it around. That was before this stuff really came out about him. And also, just watching this OKC team play, it's very clear that he's holding them back, and there really are no excuses for this. But thank you guys for the support on my most recent uploads about Giannis and the Pistons. Really means a lot to me, and I really am appreciative of all the support you guys give me. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.